And welcome back to the JVaz Show. I'm your host, JVaz, and as always, if you haven't done so, make sure you follow us on all the social media pages at the JVaz Show. Check out the website, thejvazshow.com, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can find the video portion of this interview and all of our other interviews. And we got a special guest with us. She's a returning guest. We've had her before from our early beginnings when we were doing phone interviews.
Yeah.
From Washington, D.C., correct?
Yes, thank you.
From Washington, D.C., Anna Mvze, what's up?
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Good, man. I remember our interview was educational to me because I remember we were talking about Washington, D.C., and it was the first time I realized there was two Washingtons. At 30 years old, I was like, wait a minute, which Washington are you at? Like
the District of Columbia.
Yeah.
Right. Uptown, baby, was good.
The Texas school system failed me, and I was not educated on that. So from Washington, D.C., you're out here in Houston. What brings you to Houston?
Well, I'm actually having a show in Fort Worth on the 31st. Shout out Smooth Vega for booking me for the Centro Popular show. It's going to be super dope. I'm excited. But I decided to come a few days earlier to come back to Houston because it's been so long. I used to come here all the time, working with, a certain group or whatever. But, so I had to pay my visit.
So your previous... When was the last time you came to Houston? Was this when you were under the label or you had previously? Yeah,
when I was under the label and I was known as Ayo Smiley.
Ayo Smiley. It's funny now, but how did you feel about Ayo Smiley?
Looking back, those are definitely my humble beginnings. She definitely worked super hard, but she was also very naive. Especially like going into the business and working with people that are handling my business, I do feel like I learned a lot since then. And as much as like I had bad experiences, I had a lot of good experiences as well too, and a lot of blessings. So yeah.
Before we get into the whole details of everything that happened with Ayo Smiley, what's your current relationship with Street Science?
With who?
Street Science.
Who?
I'm like a dumbass too, like Street Science. Maybe I can say it loud enough.
I mean, I haven't spoken to them since. Like I think it was like 5 years ago since I left them, and I haven't spoken to them at all. Like even when like I finally left the contract, because it was like a battle leaving that shit. I never spoke to them, and I thought that was very interesting because you could have at least like called me and apologized or something.
Before we get deeper into the contract and whatnot that made Ayo Smiley, you did mention it was your humble beginnings.
For sure.
What did you learn from this experience that, with things not going right with them, what was like the biggest thing that you learned, your biggest take from that?
To be honest, one of the things that really stood out to me the most was that they kept using the word family. And they kept saying to me, like, we're a family, da-da-da-da-da. But it's just like, you can't say something as meaningful as that and then do shady business behind my back. It's like gaslighting, you feel me? So I feel like I learned a lot from that. Just taking my time to trust people and running my career, because this is my life. Like, music is my baby, And I definitely took the time to understand a lot more about marketing and branding and finding myself and my sound. Those are one of the things that they didn't really understand. They wanted me to do like a certain kind of sound, and I was like, no, like I want to experiment. I want to try this. So it's just definitely like, as an artist, like you got to know yourself. So yeah.
When people use the word family, it's pretty fucking scary because it reminds me of Jobs. When they talk about their core values and shit, it's like, we're family. Oh, fuck,
exactly. Like, that's just like a way to manipulate you, to like make you weak. And
like make you attached to them.
Exactly.
Like if you're in the wrong...
That's an abusive-ass relationship. It's like, how you going to say all this sweet shit to me and then behind my back do the exact opposite? It's like, you're not really looking out for my best interest.
Yeah.
You're looking out for yourself. That's not cool, yo. That's not cool.
Yeah. So we've previously had other artists from Street Science on the show. What's your relationship with those artists?
Who specifically?
Just, they had a lot of people under that label. I don't know exactly who they had. I believe they had
I mean,
Clever, Evil?
I never had, any beef with any of my label mates. Like, I genuinely love them. I supported them. I appreciate them and their talent. Like, Otis Bruno, he's from the East Coast, so, like, we clicked instantly. Evo, I never had a problem with Evo. He was always a little quiet and shit, but it's cool. Like, I understand you're Cancer. It's cool. I never had a problem with him. Clever, that was my boy. I don't know where we went wrong, and hopefully you can come see me and say that shit to my face. I'm just kidding. But I don't have a problem with nobody. I'm cool with everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody's
that's dope. And like I said, what I like doing on my show is talking about history, and we talked about this behind scenes. That the first time we had you on, I didn't really want to push the issue because I was like, okay, it's my first time even talking to her, and I don't want to just come off as I'm trying to find something that's not there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But for the most part, we like to talk about history because that is something that not just an artist, but it builds a person's character.
Oh, for sure.
And a lot of those situations also just teach you lessons, and hopefully it helps you grow as an artist and just as a person in general.
Yeah.
The evolution of Anna Mvze, how did that come about after going with Ayo Smiley for?
Well, after Ayo Smiley, I took a year off to just kind of like accept things for what it was, learn myself, try to decide, all right, what direction do I want to go in now? Because I was independent. I didn't have nobody. I had met my producer now, his name is Mark Henry, and at that time he was like in New York working with Fabulous and stuff like that. And so I met him, and we kind of just like started experimenting with sounds. And before Anna Mvze, I was Anna Marie. I was like Anna Marie for like maybe like a month. But I was like, that's not it. It doesn't feel like me. And so Anna comes from my middle name, Giovanna. That's not even my first name, but it comes from my middle name. So we were in the studio and we were looking at the thesaurus, and we were like, your second name has to start with the letter M because my real name is Marisol. And so we were looking, and then I came across Mvze. And just instantly, like, it resonated with me so much because when you think about it in life, we're kind of in our own maze. We're trying to find our way out or, find a balance of happiness, and just everything. And so I was like, you know what, I fuck with that. And then instead of having the regular A in Mvze, we were like, let's, give it a twist and let's have a V instead. And so that's how it came about. But to be honest, it took us a good like 1 or 2 years to really, develop that sound, the brands and all of that. And honestly, I feel like I'm more myself than I ever was, so.
Yeah. I wasn't familiar with Ayo Smiley. I did, at the time I did see your name pop up.
Right.
Was not familiar with your music and whatnot. But the Anna Mvze we have now, one of, and this is, with me and my people that help me out, like the thing that we like about this Anna Mvze is how one day we'll get a track in Spanish, and then the next day we'll get something, in English,
right.
And both styles are smooth as shit, like, and it sounds good. Should we expect any, let's say, an all Spanish album at some point from Anna Mvze?
I want to do it all, like growing up, I grew up in a Spanglish household, we spoke both. So for me, it just feels like, I have to embrace my culture, like, yes, I was born in DC, so I'm always like, stay true to that. But at the end of the day, like, my parents are from Peru, like, soy Latina, like, I have to put that shit on the map, it's just, it's in me, so. It's definitely coming, everything's about timing, So when the time is right, that'll definitely come out for sure.
I guess I should have asked this at the beginning of the interview. Being from Washington D.C., how did you end up out here in Houston with Street Science and them?
Well, I started off. This was before I had a studio, before I had any of that. I would literally just. After school, I would come home and I would write remixes to songs that were out. And then, I would turn on my laptop and, how like it had a webcam. So I would record myself just spitting these, remixes out loud. And I would just load them onto YouTube. And this was around the time where Logic, he was still in Maryland, but he was popping, like he was getting known. And we were tight, we were close. And I did a remix to 93 Till Infinity. And he loved it so much because he's seen my growth. He's seen how much I put, you know, into this music, and he loved it and he shared it everywhere. That video went viral. I went like 90,000 views in like a little less than a week. I've never had that, ever. My phone was blowing up. Like, I was like scared. I told my mom, I was like, yo, I think I did something. But, so a lot of Logic's fans were also Snow the Products fans. And they embraced me, and they promoted me so much, like, within themselves. And I guess because Snow used to be signed to Street Science, they saw that, and so they reached out to me, and they were like, yo, with this label based out in Houston, we want to sign you, da-da-da-da-da. And so I think, like, probably like 6 months after, I ended up signing with them.
So when you were out here with Street Science, this was after Snow had left?
Yes, it was when she first signed to Atlantic, I believe.
Do you think the failure of them not being able to understand what you wanted as an artist was them trying to make you into another Snow the Product?
See, this is the thing, you know, like, I've heard people say that they try to, like, make me into the other Snow or whatever. You know, I fuck with her originality. In my opinion, I don't see us as, like, being, like, similar in that sense, like, musically, you know.
Yeah.
What their intentions were, I don't know. I don't know if they were using me to, like, get back at her or whatever. I don't know. But I don't know, maybe it was. Maybe it was, but I didn't know anything at the time, you know. And I remember, you know, when I was having a conversation with Street Science, I was like, yo, like, so who are the artists that you used to work with? Because I want to speak with them just to get a feel for it. And I remember they wasn't trying to let me have a conversation with Snow. I did anyway. Like, yeah. I had reached out to a fan that reached out to another fan so that I can get in contact with Snow. But, you know, and so we spoke about it. She initially told me not to sign with them. And it's interesting because one of the things that she said to me was, like, they act like they're family, but they're really not. And so that's why, like, when, you know, they started using the word family, a lot is just like, oh, I see.
Yeah. I see where this is going.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I definitely think that got in the way with, eventually that got in the way with how their failures, basically.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, some other things happen, but if you ask the right questions, you'll know the truth.
No, I think, you know, at this point, I would like to, it's cool to bring up the history,
Yeah.
but I also want to focus on Anna Mvze now.
Right.
Ayo Smiley was cool, but let's focus on Anna Mvze. Anna Mvze's been working hard.
Super hard.
From, you know, I keep up with your music. I believe you've dropped 3 singles this year since the beginning of the year, if I'm correct. Deja Vu, All Blue.
Yeah, Demons, I dropped it late 2020. Yeah. Yeah. I also dropped Why You Lie. It was like a short song.
Yeah.
It was like a minute some. But yeah.
So when you dropped that, I thought you were going to start taking that approach with, you know, a lot of artists are dropping the one verse, hook, verse, hook, and leaving people like in a...
Oh, like leave it open?
Yeah.
I definitely, now with my music, I definitely stay under, or I try to stay under like 2 minutes and 30.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that nowadays music is just more like shorter, like, because I guess people have more like shorter attention spans.
Yeah.
So I definitely like keep it under that number for sure.
Yeah, that's you know, what I've been getting from a lot of artists, that it's,
yeah,
I guess we're always in a rush of something, and we're ready for the next one and the next one, and we don't really want to
that's
sit
the
there.
sad part, to be honest. It, like, for me, it's like when I love a song, I'll listen to that bitch for like 6 months, maybe a year, you know. But nowadays, people listen. I hate that. Like, I'll drop a song, and then motherfuckers will go crazy, and then 3 days later, when you dropping the next one? Like, bitch, like, listen to this one first. Run me up, yo. Get me to 1 million, so. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's also hard for, you know, artists, because you're one of the artists that I feel, you know, obviously I'm calling you an artist, not a rapper.
Thank you.
And you know, difference being, artists make music with context, and some of your songs, you know, they actually have a feel for it.
For sure.
And as a fan, as media, I respect that, because again, that's hard. It's hard to find. And I feel like nowadays the fans are trying to live for the moment, so they don't care about, damn, this song said this, and I'm stuck with this song for the next 6 months to a year.
Right.
and it affects artists in a way because it's like, well, shit, I just damn spilled my heart out on this damn verse.
No, for sure. But I mean, it's like I get that, but honestly, I just have so much confidence in myself and my music. I know my music has longevity. Yeah. Like, I know Demons, I dropped that, I think, sometime in November. I know that shit could pop up in like a year. 2 years, that shit's gonna come right back up. I already know. That's just how confident I am with my shit.
All right, that was a dope track.
For sure.
I also love the teasers you be doing on Twitter, and it's like, damn, where's the full song though?
Yeah. Of course, gotta keep y'all on y'all toes. You know?
What is it that inspires, that motivates Anna nowadays to come up with these songs?
Yeah.
With meaning.
To be honest, pain, my imperfections, my insecurities, just the shit that I go through or have gone through, that, you know, that really fuels my music. And it's crazy because when I first met my producer, Mark Henry, I know he didn't like mean this like in like a real way, but it stuck with me. He said, if you want to be successful, you can't be happy. And I think that's crazy because a lot of the songs that I write now are based on my sadness, and people love those the most, you know, because, and I feel like, you know, because it makes them feel like they're not alone in whatever they're going through. You know, somebody like me, they see me like, oh, you're Anna Mvze, you're like a goddess or whatever, but it's just like at the end of the day, like, I'm human too. I got feelings too. I got my own issues as well. And it's like, if I can, you know, face my demons, you know, face my fears and my insecurities, like, you can too, and you know, we can grow together, we can heal together, we can figure this shit out together. Yeah. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. I do get that feeling when I listen to the songs, because it does have that, you're not just writing them for shits and giggles feeling, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's you feel the passion in there.
100%.
So the Spanish ones, same reason, same way, same method?
Of course. It's crazy. One of my Spanish songs, Todo de Mi, I literally wrote that after a breakup, like right after. And that shit made me cry when like, a lot of the time I'll be in the studio, because I record myself, so I'll be in the studio just like crying my ass off. And that's how I know this is gonna hit. Yeah. That's how I know.
And I guess it's also good because you're able to let that out in an artistic way.
Exactly. So it keeps me balanced, you know?
Yeah. I remember when we first interviewed, we talked about your blogs and your video blogs, your vlogs. Mm-hmm. And what's up with that? What happened with that?
Well, you know, being an independent artist, I don't have a team. I really don't. Like, it's me. I recorded myself. I had Mark did my beats. I invested in a camera. I invested in lights, you know. And so back home, we do a lot of the stuff by ourselves. But sometimes that shit can be draining, you know. Like, even like I did my own videos too, so it's like it can be so draining, where it's just like, yo, I want to focus on the music, you know. Like, I'm an artist at the end of the day. This is what I love doing, you know. So I had to take a break from that because it was just like, I need to focus on my sound, on myself. But now I'm starting to pick it back up, you know, with the vlogs. I'm trying out the IGTV, seeing how that works, you know, because I have noticed that people are very lazy in pressing buttons and taking them to YouTube. So it's like, maybe if I give it to you on IG, maybe like, and so far, you know, it's been doing really well. But I'm also at a point where I'm adding people to the team. You know, I got my girl Portia here. I got Momo G Shots in the bag, you know what I'm saying? So we're definitely like building, you know. I want to build a team, you know, that is loyal, that is going to last and just go through it with me. So yeah.
Just move to Texas.
Maybe.
Heard about a label that's signing people. I think it's Street Signs, but I don't know.
Don't.
She's like, don't.
Just run.
No, I'm just messing with you. So we, you know, earlier in the show we talked about this event coming up, and the way I'm going to set this interview, so obviously I'm going to put your performance on there. I'm going to clip this off, obviously, but
Dope.
But let's talk about your event coming up out here in Fort Worth. You're doing a festival with Smooth Vega.
Yeah.
You guys got a dope ass lineup.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, you know, what's the feeling like right now getting ready for this event?
Oh man, it's been a bunch of ups and downs, but I don't know. I'm very excited, you know, especially like with the lineup. We got a lot of dope artists, people that I listened to growing up, like Twista, Baby Bash, Frankie J, King Lil G is on it. I haven't seen him in years. I fuck with him heavy. He's super, super nice. I went on my first tour with him back when he came out to the East Coast, like I think like 3 years ago. He's so nice. I met Crystal Poppin last night. She's lit too. It's just crazy how many people are like nice out here. Like I'm not used to this like hospitality. But nah, it's been super hectic on my end, you know. My DJ Heavy D, unfortunately won't be able to attend. Somebody stole his motherfucking wallet, so
hey, that's something.
You know, but it's okay, you know, I'm still gonna hold it down. I feel like God, you know, puts these things in front of you to like prepare you for something bigger.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I take, you know, roll with the punches, and I know I'm gonna kill it. Like, I trust myself, I really do.
Yeah. I mean, your music is hard to dislike. It's because
Thank you.
I don't know. Well, I'm in Texas. I've always lived in Texas. I don't know if you always lived in Texas and you're familiar with Tejano music, but Tejano music has this feeling where it's kind of happy and it's just like good vibes.
Right.
So when we were talking about your music, when we knew you were gonna come to Houston, and we're like, her music is dope because it reminds me of Tejano music. It can put you kind of sad, but at the same time make you make you feel happy.
Definitely.
And it's dope. Like that's a dope feeling. And again, I'm excited to see you on stage. We're gonna be out there, so we'll be recording some footage for that. You met Crystal Poppin. What's up? We're gonna get a Crystal Poppin Anna Mvze record anytime soon?
We better. Yo, she is so pretty. I felt like we was like twins last night. Like, we had the same hairstyle. Like, we didn't even plan it or nothing. We have the same hair, wearing shades. That's my sister for real. So it's definitely gonna happen, whether it's while I'm out here or we gonna link up somehow. Like, it's gonna happen. It has to happen for sure.
Yeah, shouts out to Crystal Poppin. We're supposed to link up with her in Fort Worth, I believe. But any upcoming records we should keep our ears open for?
For sure. I'm currently working on an EP, Volume 1 and a Volume 2. So definitely expect that. Right now I'm just, stacking my records, stacking my videos too, because when I do the rollout, I want to do it right. I want to make sure I'm constantly feeding y'all, so yeah.
Who does your music videos? Because your videos are top notch.
Thank you. My boy Minute back home, back in the DMV, he does all of my videos basically. I love working with him. He's super dope, super cool guy, and just so talented, so talented. I fuck with him.
Shouts out to him. Hey, let me see your tattoo. Show your tattoo to the camera.
I got this one. Cause I'm a Pisces, so this is my flower signs of water lily. It's a fish. This one isn't finished.
That's what it is. Okay.
I still have to color this in, but it's that one. I recently got this one, Mvze. It's a lifestyle, baby. It's a forever thing.
That's dope. As a person that hates needles, I'm always admiring people's tattoos, and it's like, I want to get so many. I got so many ideas for them, but it's like, I think I'm gonna pass on them for now.
Get a small one and see how how it feels.
We'll see.
You might like pain. Yeah. I noticed that I kind of like that shit. Like, ooh, that's a good.
I hear that a lot. Is that really a thing?
I feel like it is. I mean, but I'm a demon, so I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing.
Because I hear that a lot of people. It's like it's just a pain that's addicting. Because then after the first one,
it is. I might get a tattoo out here, low key.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. It depends.
After Fort Worth, you come back to Houston?
I am. I'm staying until the 4th, so I'll be out here a few more days. Yeah.
Cool. Hopefully we can have a Clever and Anna Mvze interview together and get into deep conversation of that. Anna, we're looking forward to this event, Centro Popular, on the 31st. Off camera, I'm hoping I can edit this out real quick today and put it out later on today so we can promote that. But Centro Popular, you'll be out there in Fort Worth, Texas on Saturday.
Yeah.
Sick ass lineup. If you guys ain't there, you're gonna miss out. And obviously you say you got an EP coming out. Any idea of a release date?
Definitely some back to school shit, like around then. Very soon. Very, very soon. But for updates, you can follow me everywhere at Anna Mvze. It's Anna with 2 N's, Mvze. You already know what it is. I love y'all.
And you can find those links on the description of the video or the podcast. Once again, from Washington, D.C., Anna Mvze, thank you.
For sure. Thank you.